Here we go.
All right.
Melinda Sue is excited.
I think we're here, everybody. So, yeah, I guess we're live. How's everybody doing? Welcome in.
Woo!
It shows 0 people watching, so I don't want to start this just yet.
Doesn't sound right.
Alright, we got a couple.
Yeah, now we're back. We're back in. It's them.
Alright.
Tell us about that Pop-Tart. I hope it pibs.
We're not going to spend 2 hours talking about Pop-Tarts, are we?
We might have to. That and bubblegum.
I don't know.
I think that's going to be the Cincinnati meet, too.
Yeah.
Matthew Wong, we got at least 2 people.
Alright, people are starting to file in. We'll give
4,
it,
there we go.
We'll give it a couple of minutes here to let people file in.
We're letting people be late? That makes me angry.
Well, yeah, I am. So, whatever.
I hope everyone out there is wearing your toilet paper masks right now out of precaution. We want to make sure that the stream stays healthy.
Yep. Make sure your computers are disinfected because I don't want to get any viruses onto my phone. So, just throwing that out there. But,
Oh, Sesame Street. We'll discuss Sesame Street too. I think we'll have to find where Oscar is hiding today. It'll be part of the adventure.
But anyway, at the start here, we want to welcome you in, and we really appreciate you guys tuning in to us today. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff in the news regarding the coronavirus outbreak, and you know, it's obviously been having a major impact on public events, you know, gatherings, stuff like that. We did go through a period in the last couple of days where we discussed different options as far as this event is concerned. If you look at the meet itinerary on the front page, you'll see that there are 4 names listed, but only 2 of those people will be joining us live today.
I am Steve Alpert, Ian Liggett, and David Golub all at once.
I question that.
I will speak in different voices as needed and talk to myself repeatedly.
Yeah, well, you do that anyway, but
fair enough.
So we came to the decision last night that it was in the best interests of us, and it was not advantageous to cancel the meet. So we went ahead and we are going through this meet as scheduled with the itinerary that you see in the description below. Obviously, we take the situation very seriously. It is an ongoing one. It develops by the hour in a lot of cases. But we're going to do the best we can to give you a good meet today, and hopefully this meet can serve as some sort of a distraction for you guys from all the virus talk that's going around, and hopefully we can have a good time today talking about roads.
As we like to say, you won't beat our meet.
You can try, but you won't.
Nope.
All right, let's go. You want to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Starting out in, where are we? Egg Harbor Township, officially? I know that's what the address for this place says, but I don't remember. Like, it doesn't always match up. It's a beautiful day here in Atlantic County, New Jersey. Temperatures in the mid-50s, clear skies, light winds, might be a little gusty on the coast. Otherwise, I think we have a perfect day to do this.
I thought we had to head north on Fire Road. Oh, look, we're heading north on Fire Road.
Hey!
Hey!
This is why we read the itinerary before the meet starts.
I like to be surprised.
can't believe you don't have a picture of that.
Ah, no. I've never been on Fire Road northbound. This is all new territory for me until this traffic light, and it's going to be all old territory after this. So, right now we're turning into a project of mine, the 4322 corridor. We're upgrading a bunch of traffic signals here and ADA accessible curb ramps at all these intersections all the way out into Atlantic City. So this actually counts as a field visit for me, and maybe I can convince my project manager that I can charge this road meet.
You charged all the miles.
To the project. That would be pretty sweet if I can get paid to do this.
Yeah.
Now, if they ask, I can say, "Yeah, I've been down here. I know what I'm doing." I think this is one we're going to have to replace coming up. So, I'm not sure if I've said this in a previous meet, but New Jersey DOT is doing a very standardized traffic signal layout at every intersection, which is all the signals for you are going to be on the far side, and all the signal poles are on the outside of the road in the shoulders. So what you see here with the left turn arrows in the median, that's now going to be off a long steel pole from the left shoulder, going to come across the road, and these will hang down from the end. And the idea behind taking the signal poles out of the median is so if someone runs up on it, they don't have anything to crash into. They generally don't like having anything in the median for that reason. And the reason for far side signals is because, as per the MUTCD, which many of you are familiar with, you have to have at least 40 feet of visibility to one signal per lane. It's 40 to 180 feet away the signal can be, and so on the near side you don't get that, and all it does is get in the way of signals that might be on the far side. So if you do far side only, you don't run into that scenario.
Okay.
So we've got more median signals through here. I imagine if these are within my project, these will all come out to that standardized format.
So they're gradually transitioning everything over to the new standard.
Right. So all along New Jersey's divided highways, you run into this situation, and they bit by bit they're funding. It sort of goes hand in hand with resurfacing these corridors, so there may be some of that mixed in here too. But anything that triggers new curb ramps, whether it's just doing pavement resurfacing, actually triggers it. Whether they want to replace the signals, that also triggers it. So they sort of package everything for each corridor together.
Yeah, well, that makes sense too. I mean, if you're going to be working in this area doing paving, you might as well work on the signals while you've got the road torn up as it is.
It's a package deal, and the way it progressed, I can speak to this on one of my projects, is it started out as a resurfacing, but it wasn't. If all they're doing is paving, I think even then they still have to do the curb ramps. So you go from resurfacing to resurfacing plus curb ramps. That gives them an opportunity to add sidewalk. They like adding sidewalk to connect pedestrians between side streets. Mm-hmm. And once you're doing that, you've got to do the curb ramps, which means you have to do pedestrian push buttons that are oriented correctly. So you can't quite see the one on the right in this video, but a push button is supposed to be perpendicular to the crossing. So if you're about to cross, it should be on your left or right, and if you just reach out and poke it, you got it. Now, a lot of the old ones were in line, so if you're facing the crossing, you'd push forward to cross. And so as they go through and they're replacing it, and they're using larger buttons, so that's easier to press for elderly or handicapped, you're finding that once you're touching the traffic signal equipment, it sort of lends itself to just replacing things as they feel like. So this intersection is newer, but still not up to the new standard, because you could see near side signals for the cross street, which is US 9, and they would want everything far side here. So
is there an ADA component to that as far as the PED signals go?
The push buttons have to be located within 10 feet and preferably within 5 feet of the bottom of the curb ramp.
I see.
So that much, along with the style of the push button, is dictated. If you have enough disabled users in your area, or you know of hard of hearing people, you can get towards the audible push buttons. But at a minimum, they want to at least have the bigger buttons, and everything should be oriented correctly. So that is a push all across the state with everything we do.
Okay. So for those of you who are just joining us, welcome in. We're on US 40 East on our way to Atlantic City. And for those of you who haven't yet opened it up, there is a link in the description of this video that includes access to the meet itinerary that we're following. So you can open that up and follow along with us as we go.
I'm glad you turned on to 40 by yourself, because I completely forgot about that.
You're not doing so hot here at the beginning.
Can we see NJ Turnpike? Yes, it's called Google Street View.
Yes, it's called some other day. Not in this stream.
If you would like to fund our travels on various roads of your choosing, we can give you a donation link later on. We'd be happy to accept donations. I, for that matter, will gladly travel any road you like for the low price of 25 cents a mile plus tolls.
That's right. So there are three main highways to enter Atlantic City from if you're coming from the west, right? You've got the AC Expressway, you've got US 30, you have 40, 322. So we're on the southernmost of those three, and they all come into the city pretty close to each other. So like all the way on the far left, you can see the expressway right across the street, and this is the 4-lane divided highway for 40, and then north of the expressway is US 30, which is another 4-lane highway.
I would call this 5 lanes undivided.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a divided highway.
I also like to be a pain in the ass.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
Yet, for some reason, I keep letting you come on my live streams.
It's because no one else wanted to.
Well, that is actually true in this case. Because Ian is a whipped little...
Yeah, we can't say that on the radio.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. I can't say what I wanted to say on live TV. But
man,
we're never going to see him again.
No. Yes, they is, Matthew. They is.
And that's why I wrote in 40 into the itinerary, not the expressway. I mean, it'd be quicker to go that way. But
I think 30 is more used as a shunt pike because it generally does parallel the expressway. Black Horse Pike to some degree, but White Horse Pike is closer. And 30 tends, once you get out of the western part of South Jersey, tends to flow more freely. The 322 corridor has a bunch of lights along it.
Yeah. This is Atlantic City High School on the right, and it's one of the only high schools I've seen that has its own interchange on a highway.
Was this high school built at the former airport? The airport?
It's further down. It's further down, yeah.
We've already had to deal with all these signals for the people visit. We had to look at. No. This is part of a different thing. This is just part of the shore, the adaptive signal Tommy was talking about before. So this whole stretch is adaptive, and we had to look at all the summer timings for these not too long ago. I don't think this had anything to do with it.
When was the papal visit?
17, 16?
Really? He came here?
He came to Philadelphia, and we had to prioritize all the traffic that we thought might go into the city. It turned out it didn't materialize nearly to the level of our worst case plans, which is good.
Well, they shut down the Ben Franklin Bridge, didn't they, as part of that?
I think for some time.
It was just for pedestrians only, I think.
Right. And so that's why our contingency was, knowing that traffic was going to be using other routes, prioritizing things like 73 to get into the city.
Yeah.
And it turned out to not really be that bad, but when you plan for a worst case, if anything less than the worst case happens, it goes smoothly. And so the fact that everything went very well that day, yeah, we did our job. Might it have gone well if we didn't do anything for it? It still might have.
Yeah, there would have been a spike in traffic.
It was adaptive signals, and what we had to do was change the base timings to prioritize through traffic. So the adaptive was already looking for more green than usual. But since it's adaptive, it could still vary from that as needed. So in theory, if we did nothing, it could still have thought about, lengthened to the limits of what it's allowed to do, and might have still been okay. One of the things we did, though, was plans to prohibit certain turns, like close off certain jug handles to keep through traffic moving, potentially allow shoulder running in a couple places. I think that one never panned out. We looked at a lot of scenarios for worst case operations of 6,000 people an hour on something like Route 73, which can handle 3,000 maybe.
Okay.
And you get that crush of cars and everything locks down, but you're still trying to move them as best you can.
Yeah.
Very interesting. That project actually got me sitting in New Jersey DOT's adaptive signal room, I'll call it. They have a control room there, sort of central. All the data comes into this room. You can look at any camera on any signal and see what it's seeing.
Huh.
So the cameras on signals are generally just used for detection. So detecting when there's a vehicle, multiple vehicles, so it knows when to turn. But because an adaptive system, it has to have high quality video, it's something you can tune into. And you can check, is it functioning as intended? Do you see vehicles coming in? I think through the website that pairs with it, you can see each vehicle get detected. You can watch the detection zone turn red when the car enters it, so you can see exactly what the system is seeing. And it was really neat to be in there and see exactly how they operate these things.
Yeah, I bet a lot of that would be really fascinating. By the way, welcome to Atlantic City, everybody.
The real side of Atlantic City.
Yeah. This is the part they don't show you on the promotional posters.
Alright, so we're on Arctic.
I think it becomes Arctic right here.
Right here. Going through Ducktown to Mississippi. This I think will be my third time on the connector. I just was dealing with bus routings in Atlantic City, so...
What do you mean bus routings?
They're
like NJ Transit stuff?
NJ Transit stuff.
Okay.
So I can't really get into detail as to what that entailed, but other than to say that I was looking at them, and I was looking at a couple of them that go right through this neighborhood.
Okay.
So I actually know some things about this neighborhood just from that. I really wish I didn't know as much as I do. There's some projects where you do it because it has to get done, not because it's the most exciting work. And I think looking at buses is, to me, not the most exciting. Some viewers may differ. I think one of our potential attendees today would have certainly felt otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's tuned into our stream, so we can badmouth him.
Yeah.
Thought you were going to tune in if you couldn't attend.
I thought I made that mandatory.
Yeah. See if he gets invited next time. assign dates to the opening of the connector.
It probably does. These signs are about 20 years old at this point.
That looked about right.
Yeah, so we enter the AC Brigantine connector.
Ooh.
This will take us up to the northwest corner of AC, where they got the Marina District, and there's more casinos up that way.
You get to see the famous lettered exits.
Yeah, this road is unusual in that the exits are lettered, they're not numbered.
It is also unusual in that it has an at-grade railroad crossing on what is otherwise a freeway. And it's got a cool tunnel.
Yeah, this road has a lot in it for a short distance. You get your money's worth driving this.
We were driving it not too long after it opened. And that was, I think that was after the Trenton Tunnel was opened, so you already had precedent in New Jersey for a similar type of road.
Yeah, that's true. Like the 29 tunnel does kind of remind me of this a little bit.
Another cut and cover.
Yeah.
Most of these are probably crappy.
Yeah.
Just to be honest. Oh, I did sort of get a mile marker.
Alright, there you go.
That one didn't work.
Exit E.
Looks like they may have replaced some of these signs.
Yeah, well, this one, no.
That one, I think they would have fixed if they were going to replace it. It's hard to duplicate that level of incompetence. So we're not going to the Borgata today?
No, we are not.
Oh.
Sorry.
I think our viewers would have loved to have given us some roulette wheel suggestions.
Yes, let's do a live stream at the craps table.
Can we say that word? Too late.
If you're in the casino, you can.
Yeah, if you're a senior citizen, every day at the casino might be craps.
Well, having just been in Las Vegas within the last month, I can say that this place has nothing on Las Vegas.
No, Las Vegas is walkable. This is not.
Right, yeah.
Now see the mile markers transition out to 87's mile markers.
Yep.
Just like that.
There's the Brigantine Bridge.
Absolutely no warning, nothing saying 87, they just throw you onto it.
Yeah.
We were exploring earlier off camera the Great Bay Boulevard, which theoretically would have been New Jersey 87 had they completed the bridge across to the upper end of Brigantine. It's also possible that they would not have connected the two segments through Brigantine and they could have been two different numbers, but that's something we will never find out because now they're environmental laws.
It's one of those curious little projects, and I didn't know anything about it actually until I started researching this area.
One of our viewers asked why doesn't the I-76 go to Atlantic City, and the basic reason is Atlantic City Expressway was never interstate grade, and so 76 was always intended to terminate at 295 to begin with. In fact, at that time there was no freeway all the way across. The ACX came a little later. When it came in addition to having toll booths, which for a new road you couldn't put on an interstate, they only allowed that for grandfathered routes. It also has the median parking lots towards the east end, which are not interstate standards. So, for all of these reasons, I-76 was never considered to be extended along the ACX, and there's no intent now, even though they don't really use those lots, they're not going to close them off. It's a toll facility, So the interstate designation would do absolutely nothing for them. And so they're just going to manage the road, and it's always going to be ACX.
All right. That's fair enough. Well, I think we've arrived at our first stop.
We've arrived at a letter B.
Letter B on that little
Stop
map
here
there.
for a closer look at the existing bridge and a sizable remnant of its predecessor.
It's pretty sizable.
I hope you will join us for this. I've never seen the predecessor.
Really?
So I am angrily excited.
All right. All right. I don't know that we're actually supposed to park here, but whatever. We'll just make this quick. So the bridge we just went over is the Brigantine Bridge, which opened in the early 70s, and it replaced another bridge here that stood from about the 1930s onward. And a little piece of that 1930s era bridge still stands over here. And we're going to take a look at that real quick.
This is brand new to me. So this is why I don't read the itinerary, because now I'm excited.
See, now, yeah.
I knew this was coming. I didn't realize it was
Yeah. Yeah, it's old concrete, old railings. It's all still there.
It's not my birthday, but you gave me the best present of all.
I can't believe you didn't know about this.
Never knew about this.
Really?
Nope.
Wow. I think I've got a streak going of always finding out about stuff that you've never been to and then actually like incorporating it into whatever we're doing.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. So the original concrete deck is still in. The railings, which go back to the pre-1970s era, are still in place. I mean, it's technically an abandoned stub that people are using to fish off of. That's what I would call it. Don't jump, Steve. This is not a bad view, right? Well, I gotta go chase after Steve. I don't know where he's going. That's the problem with bringing him on these road meets, is that you have him right in front of you 1 second, and then 10 seconds later you turn around and he's nowhere to be found because he's off doing something else. And case in point, if you fall in, I'm not rescuing you. He looks like a doofus with that New York Jets shirt on, doesn't he? What are you looking for in there?
Little danger sign.
Really?
It'd be pretty hard to anchor if there's no water, so.
Well,
Deny our viewers the pleasure of seeing the old sign. I did.
well, I don't know what did the sign say. Oh, who cares about that?
I think the owners of the high voltage cable crossing care about that.
As Mike Francesa would say, no one cares. Okay.
You got nothing to say right now.
That's true. We're the only entertainment in town today because there's
right.
no sports on. So all y'all have no choice but to watch us.
I'm pretty sure that's our only audience. People who are forced to watch this.
It's people who are going to watch the NASCAR race in Atlanta today. And maybe a few road geeks.
But really, how are NASCAR drivers going to catch this from each other? I feel like that's the sport that...
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they were the last holdout, I think, as far as
I know, bowling is still happening.
Holding events. Well, bowling's not a sport.
Bowling is a sport.
Oh, no, it's not.
Gymnastics is a sport.
All right. This is the part of the meet that I'm dreading, because now we got to navigate all this BS behind us.
Me?
No, the interchange back there.
Okay.
So, let me see this for a sec.
We just turn around.
Yeah, we're gonna go back over the bridge, and then what are we doing?
Take a lap around the Complex Marina District.
I just want to make sure I have the order right. So it's.
I can narrate it for you.
All right, it's Bridge 187, 30 West, 87 North, then Harris.
PBA championships are still live tomorrow at 1:30. So there are still sports, people.
Straight 87 South and then 30 East. Okay. You can check my work and see how well I do.
All right.
Next up,
to US 30 East onto MJ 187. Yep. Some debate when 187 ends whether the road in both directions is part of the connector or not. I think I'm a fan of it's not.
Well, this is an interesting area because you've got two really short state highways and a connector that ends somewhere in the middle of all that.
Right, which we saw at the end of it.
Yeah.
And 187 is old 87.
Okay.
So that's one of those pieces that the state couldn't give back, but they tried, I'm sure.
Yeah. This is technically 87, right?
This is all 87.
Like the connector doesn't start officially until...
That's the connector right there. That's where it ends. That's where we came in on it.
Yeah.
But heading south, this is the start, right?
Yeah. But we're gonna go this way.
We're gonna go left.
And this is 187.
You know, I take that back. That's still 87 to the right.
Yeah, I think it's still 87 going inbound to town until you get to the split down there.
Yes.
So you have two directions of the connector with different lengths.
Vastly different. Because this whole overpass to the right is part of the connector northbound, but there is no southbound counterpart.
Right. Which adds to the strangeness of this whole area.
Yeah, if you're only going to a destination, I think it's relatively straightforward to get there. But if you're trying to do what we're doing and drive specific roads, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah, and what is signed isn't very well signed, and there's some stuff that's just signed wrong.
And you can see to the left, Huron. I think that's to the left is Huron also, but that's gotten cut off. This used to be a three-way fork, and now they've cut off one of the forks and they've moved it down here. So yeah, a lot in this area changed dramatically when they built the connector.
Yeah. Well, the connector had been talked about for many years, right? Like going back to the 80s.
That I don't know, because when I was cutting my road teeth, this had been under construction and was just opening at that point. So right here you have the popular question
what the fuck you doing, man?
Yeah.
As you were saying.
I've heard from certain people that because that's signed Brigantine Connector, that's technically the connector. But as you can clearly see from what we drove before, those are ramps. That is not the beginning of the connector. We followed the mileposts at the end of the connector. So,
yeah.
To all you anal road people over on the travel mapping forum, suck it, you're wrong. These signals, well, these are all part of that adaptive corridor still.
Here's 87.
Let's see if you're doing this correctly.
I believe I am.
Straight to the end of the road. Second light turn right. Northbound beginning of 87. Yep.
Which is what this is.
87, we shall keep left.
We're basically doing a little circle right now, so we're going to come back to the same
sort of a
light.
triangle, yeah.
Yeah, but we're going to come back to the same intersection we were just at a couple minutes ago.
I find it interesting that you've written this up as if it was going to be an in-person meet.
Yeah.
But knowing that it wasn't going to be an in-person meet.
Yeah.
I guess you have this so that if people wanted to come later and do this themselves, they could just follow your directions and do that.
I've left a roadmap for people who want to do that and for people who want to tune in and know exactly where they are. What are you doing?
Getting the signs up there. Didn't get a good photo of them before. That is perfect.
Now here's an example of erroneous signage, right?
Oh, shit, yeah.
NJ 187 does not turn left here.
Nope.
187 ends here.
That is an excellent point, and one I would not have gotten with my little camera. So
now we can take the ramp for Harrah's. The connector flyover is right above us.
Someday, in about 10 years, I'll have an 87-page Harrah's. The only highways I'm missing. There's plenty wrong here to feature.
Yeah, there's definitely a page here for you. Now this is not exit 1, this is exit I.
Yep.
Right?
That's exit I.
Yep.
Again, not that anyone's trying to follow these by letter. I think they're very much just following this by destination.
Right. Whichever casino you're going to, take this ramp, basically.
Yep.
And now we're on the other side of the bridge.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, see?
Hey.
Just on the other side.
Why don't we take a quick look from this optional stop?
Yeah, so Harrah's Boulevard basically is recycled from whatever that old alignment used to be that came off the bridge. Because it terminated on the Atlantic City side right here in front of us.
Yeah.
So whenever they built these casinos, which would have been shortly after this bridge opened, they probably decided to recycle this right away for casino access.
I will take advantage of this.
You want to make this
stop quick.
All right. I'll actually just hang out here. Yeah. We'll never see Steve again.
See? Easy.
That's the quickest stop ever. So anyway, if we continue southward from where the old bridge landed, we basically end up on this alignment here, which takes us through the Harrah's Casino and gives us access to a couple of the other ones up ahead. There's the Jitney bus.
Sounds like a secret they don't want you to know.
What?
There's other casinos this way.
Yeah. Well, we all know what the most tremendous casino is, right?
I thought that one closed.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
I didn't think any of his properties went bankrupt. What?
Oh, my bad.
No. A lot of underutilized tall buildings here.
Yeah, right. That's been true for a long time around here.
Well, there's some scantily clad women posing for photos.
Hey, want to make that a stop?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so this will take us back to 87.
We're going to go east on 30.
So we'll finish clinching 87 south.
Because I think we missed a very short piece of 87 north there, so tough shit.
Yeah. Whatever.
Also, you're watching this virtually, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, most people wouldn't count it anyway, so who cares?
Someone somewhere counts watching your drives as their mileage.
You might be right.
I am sure somebody cheats. Good news is, it doesn't matter.
So if you wanted to follow the Brigantine connector back into town, you would split off to the right here. But we're not going to go that way. So 87 ends at here. This is going to be the final, what, half a mile of US 30 eastbound?
For some of the best neighborhoods in Atlantic City.
That's right.
If you like terrible neighborhoods.
So US 30 began its journey about 3,000 miles behind us in Astoria, Oregon.
3,049, you say on here. 2,073, my bad. Lanes US 30 has along its journey.
This would be an unlikely place to find that if that was true.
Unless you count across the toll lanes at the Ben Franklin Bridge. This has more than that.
Yeah.
Right here, anyway, it's like 9. There's the beautiful Ocean Casino, which no one's ever heard of.
I think that's one of the ones that closed and then reopened under a different...
Rebranded, okay.
Yeah.
That might be the one that did that twice in a row. I think one of them did that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Voted best casino. Voted most likely to fail.
Voted best casino, 1 out of 1.
Voted best casino by Ocean Casino Magazine. Huh. That's not right.
Alright, so this intersection is the terminus of US 30, but you won't see any signs for it.
The interesting thing there is the DOT, I think, controls the next signal as well. Over there.
Really?
As part of these two, I think go together. But that is definitively past the end of US 30.
Yeah.
That's one of those I will say, don't quote me on that because I may be misremembering.
I never quote you on anything, so
yeah,
what's the
but
big deal?
The viewers take every word I say as gospel, so I have to be careful.
Well, that's true.
Disclaim.
People like to do that with me too.
Yep. So I think that's the case, but I'm not sure. I also think Atlantic City is the best casino city in the world, but that's because I want you to give my state more money.
That's right.
Atlantic Avenue, we're on to Ocean Drive now.
Alright, so this is Atlantic Avenue.
So called because it's nearly the street that's closest to the Atlantic Ocean, even though it definitely isn't. part of town seems more like Newark than Atlantic City. Got a lot of businesses on the left, some parks on the right. It's very similar to Broad Street.
Except there's no light rail.
Most of Broad Street doesn't have light rail.
It doesn't go up Broad Street? I thought it went up...
Only a handful of blocks.
Oh.
And the section from NJ Pack on south is the section that reminds me of this most. And that's just... It's actually pretty much the same highway as this, 5 lanes with parking.
Oh, okay.
And very similar establishments on both sides. So, yeah, Atlantic seems like it's the heart of Atlantic City.
Yeah, because we know if you're over a couple blocks on the boardwalk, it sure isn't. Especially this time of year. I came down here in early January to do some scouting for this meet today. And had the boardwalk here and down in Ocean City to myself, basically, for a lot of the day. I definitely wouldn't do a meet down here in July.
That would be asking for it.
You can't do a meet around here during the summer season, but you can today with hardly anybody out here.
And as a driver, I've only been down the shore on a summer weekend once, I think. Maybe twice. Oh shit, that is still button copy.
Yeah.
Nice. Ever decreasing in this state. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So this is essentially the end. I think we're a block or two past the end of the Atlantic City Expressway.
Yeah, you would have had to go up the street we just went by. Yeah.
Transitions into Cristoforo Colombo Boulevard. Cristoforo. But,
how do you spell that?
I don't know.
How many Z's are in that?
None. I made it stay that
Sure.
way. Here's a case of you got 2 U.S. highways, you got a major toll facility, all end at nothing. They just end at the shore.
They all end at city-maintained streets. Yeah.
This isn't even a county road, let alone a state highway. Not signed as Ocean Drive anywhere here, so...
Yeah, you don't really get Ocean Drive signage anymore until you're in Cape County.
So really, it's sort of surprising that nothing was ever put through here as any kind of highway. To my knowledge, I don't think that's ever been the case. There's never a highway here or an intent to put one here.
Yeah.
If I'm elected president, that will all change.
We could use an infrastructure advocate in the White House.
One that actually advocates instead of just pays lip service to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, 23 viewers. I think we're feeling the effects of being homebound now.
Yeah, we got way too many people watching live, guys. We gotta thin the herd a little bit. No large gatherings, please.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a tickle in my throat just looking at our viewer numbers go up. All right, down to 21, much better. We're in macro mode, Dan.
Yeah, it'll fix itself. Plus, there's nothing to see right now anyway. We're stopped.
I want to learn more about EuroBrothersLLC.com.
I don't even know what that is.
Probably something like the Euro slicer, Euro can opener. Remember back when Europe was fashionable? Now you can't even fly there.
You can if you're Josh.
We'll see if you can fly back.
Yeah, right. Oh, sorry, we gotta quarantine you for 2 weeks.
Oh well, sucks to be be an extrovert. Unfortunately, he's not. Here we got a chance to show our viewers something while we're stopped.
Which is?
Just the corridor in general.
Oh.
Can remind them on the left that Christ died for our sins.
I thought he died for our Dunkin' Donuts.
Alright, I see some comments here about someone going cashless.
Yeah, there was an article the other day about the toll increases on the Turnpike and Parkway that they're supposedly coming.
I think they said in the article the Parkway was going cashless, but not the Turnpike. I have not read the article itself. I'm going by what I remember people summarizing. But I think what I saw was Parkway goes cashless, Turnpike, they are going to continue for now not cashless. But they, I don't want to speculate about it, but, they may be seeing how cashless goes on the Parkway. Maybe trying to learn some lessons from that before the Turnpike, or...
I don't
know.
I kind of feel like they're going to do the Parkway and then they're going to do the Turnpike. They're going to do them one at a time.
I mean, they've been talking about it for a number of years.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
we'll see if they actually do it, because they listed a lot of projects in there, and I don't think
there's a lot in that capital program.
Yeah. And I think a lot of those are intended as beginnings of design phase as opposed to actual implementation. So we're going to have to see what of that does get implemented, but the purpose that I could tell from including everything there was to show the number of possible projects that they're considering right now, and therefore the importance of getting the funding that they need to pursue all of these. That if they're not able to raise tolls, it's going to push off many of these important projects by quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to justify the toll increase.
Yeah.
By basically giving everyone a wish list.
Yeah, it's not a wish list. I could say that it's more than a wish list. These are all legitimately projects that they want to get done. In the next 10 years, I would highly doubt that you're going to be able to get all of those done. Even with a toll increase, you're talking many more billions, but I wouldn't be surprised if they at least want to start design or planning on everything that they did list. So, Is the Parkway going cashless? Are they going to be studying it and coming up with the design plans only, but not yet implementing it? I don't know. But I think if the toll increase goes through, you're going to see something come through on that, whether it's design or implementation or both. And if it manages to not go through, and I would be surprised if it doesn't, because although the public never likes toll increases, usually they are able to pass, and I think they provided sufficient justification for it. But if it were to fail, it's not going to change the projects that they want to do. It's just going to space out that much further what they can get done until they're able to get the toll increase. But I don't think they're going to take any projects off this list. They know what they want to do.
But there are different projects that they list, and some of them are definitely higher priority than others.
Right, and unfortunately for our viewers, I'm too familiar with them to be able to explain the priorities.
Well, you tried to explain it to me one time.
I could explain, if you showed me the list, I could explain to you where everyone falls on the priority list.
Because I remember reading the list, and I'm like, you know what, you were just telling me about this not long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for the viewers, I can't elaborate on which ones of those I think fall where.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say that this is not just a wish list of everything they want to get done. These are all things they do intend to do in the next number of years.
So when was the last time they did a toll increase? Has it been a while?
It's been a while. Because I remember when the Parkway went from 50 to 75, which was the last one. That's been 10, 12 years now. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit from that. The Turnpike, I don't know, but I think I have a toll ticket from either side of the last increase. I think it's been about that same length of time. So if it's been 10 or 12 years and they're trying to increase tolls by 20%, that probably matches the inflation over that period.
I was going to say, like, it probably would make sense to have an increase of roughly that amount.
Yeah, overall it seems pretty reasonable. And unlike, for example, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, where it increases every year tied to inflation, every year it
the
keeps going
Pennsylvania
up,
Turnpike.
Yeah. At least here it's discrete chunks, and it's all right. You got to swallow the toll increase, then you get used to it, and it's okay again.
Well, the Turnpike Authority gets to keep their money,
and you're not being socked by it every year.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into too much ranting about Pennsylvania, but the Pennsylvania Turnpike definitely got a raw deal with Act 44.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they've got to fund everyone else. It's the importance of protecting piggy banks, which is why it was so important with New Jersey's gas tax to protect it. They were going to raise it, but then they had the ballot question to dedicate the funds, and we were able to pass that ballot question. If you raised the gas tax and you didn't pass that ballot question, the whole raise in the gas tax would have been pointless, and it just would have hurt New Jersey. So getting it all dedicated really helps.
Yeah.
And we've been able to do so much with that, starting projects like Route 3 at 46 that we're waiting for over a decade.
Yeah. So we're going to be on Atlantic Avenue for a little while still, and we're going to be passing through the west end of Atlantic City, and then we'll be passing through Ventnor City, and we'll be going through Margate City.
All of these are fake. They're all actually just Atlantic City.
And speaking of which, now we enter Ventnor City.
It's fake.
If you were with us for our virtual tour of Ocean Drive that we did back in January, we kind of went through all the profiles of all these communities down the shore. So if you want more information about the shore towns and Ocean Drive in particular, I highly recommend you check out that video, if you have not already done so.
But you already have.
Well, we already have.
They already have.
Maybe they haven't.
They are faithful viewers. They have done it.
I don't know. Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes.
I like you. Now I gotta speed at the next one so I can see what it says when I'm going too fast.
Frowny face.
Angry face.
Yeah.
That dog outside that window is definitely a road geek.
The dog is definitely Pennsylvania. It makes me angry. I want to roll down the window and yell at them, "Get out of my state, bennies."
I think the dog barks every time you see button copy.
I don't see him barking.
No? He's looking.
Over here, boy. Oh, you found button copy.
Ooh! Quick jump out of the car and follow the trail.
You're a good boy.
That's right.
I wasn't talking to you.
I know you weren't talking to me.
That's right. A lot of speculation about the toll hike and coronavirus. I don't think those two things are connected in any way. The only way it's getting delayed is if they have to postpone the public hearings for this, which may happen. But once it goes through the process, once it's approved, you're going to get toll hikes. Don't expect them to delay it by however many months. They're going to go through the process.
Well, yeah.
I don't see why coronavirus should make tolls not increase. That's a separate issue.
Well, yeah, but the article that we're referencing merely indicates that the process has initiated.
Right.
For that, right? So.
Yeah, but the virus. I mean, maybe you get fewer people on the roads, but it's not like a toll hike has anything to do with the response to that. So I don't expect it to be delayed unless, as I said, they have to reschedule the public hearings, which may have a fair chance of happening. I forget, was it March or April that they were having those hearings?
I don't know.
It was either March 17th and 18th or April 17th and 18th.
It was coming up.
I think it was March, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that they're going to have to delay that by a bit, and then that's what would delay the toll hike, is just getting the public hearings done.
Yeah.
Ever revolving. I haven't heard of them being canceled yet. I, for one, will not be showing up at any of those hearings.
Why not?
Yeah, the type of people who show up at those hearings are the type who are likely to sneeze on me. So I think I'm good. I don't trust the people who go to public hearings because they have nothing better to do.
Yeah. Well,
You get a lot of those.
especially up in my general area. In these rural towns and stuff.
I wouldn't expect it to be in the rural areas. What would concern me is something like Bergen County is where you're likely to have a nexus. I think that's where the North Jersey one was.
So if we're now in Margate City, and the reason you can tell that easily is because all the lights are flashing yellow.
Yellow is the official color of Margate City.
Must be. And this is a seasonal arrangement. These lights will all be activated during the tourist season. But with limited traffic in the middle of March, there's no reason to have them activated.
If only more cities understood that.
Yeah, I mean, Ventnor behind us could have done the same thing if they wanted to.
Any Atlantic City south of the casinos easily have done that.
Yeah.
I wish I cared about what our viewers were saying. I just can't. That's alright, you guys keep talking.
We basically let the chat police itself.
Yeah,
So,
this is not one of the more interesting stretches of road from a road perspective. Once you see all the flashing lights, it's like, alright, that's all Margate has to offer.
well, that and a giant elephant.
There is a giant elephant.
There is a giant elephant butt up ahead.
But what?
Butt. Look at that.
What?
In the butt.
You want to put it in my what?
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 Oh, crap, there's a big elephant. That is not parking.
I thought there was a prohibition on large elephants.
I'm not sure how they would have gotten around the weight restrictions on the Atlantic City Expressway getting that thing over here.
They probably had to use US 30. We're taking our viewers inside the elephant.
The first thing I gotta do is park.
So the intent is to take our viewers inside the elephant.
That is not the intent, no.
The intent is to take our viewers outside the elephant.
Sure.
Okay. The intent is for our viewers to be jealous of there being an elephant.
Okay.
I wish Andrew Gutman would not please text and drive. Safe out there.
Next up,
Do you mean to say after hanging out of the giant elephant?
What do you mean?
I said with, but maybe I want to hang out of the giant elephant.
I really don't think you want to do that.
It's got windows in its ass. Should be able to.
If you're wondering where the toilet paper all went, it's probably here.
How many claw do you think this needs?
I don't know. I thought you were the expert on that stuff. See that? It's a giant elephant butt. We here at Roadway Wiz give you the finest content on the internet. And we have the best elephant butts, let me tell you. Look at that thing. Isn't that scary looking? Holy crap. So this is basically a giant wooden statue that's been here for well over 100 years. And you can read more about it in the description in the itinerary, but it's basically a giant tourist trap. It probably was the first tourist trap, if you will.
It never tried. While you do have to purchase tickets, I believe it's not that expensive. I don't think it's a tourist trap. It's just a tourist icon.
Yeah.
They never oversold Lucy.
No, that's true.
But again, I'm in New Jersey, and so I'm biased, and I'm willing to defend our landmarks.
Yeah. But no, she seems to be doing pretty well. So.
Yeah, she was closed 15 or so years ago for renovations. I don't know if that was the first or second time they had to do that.
Well, I think she was left for dead in the 60s and early 70s.
Yeah, so then it was the second time.
And then they came in and somebody stepped in and preserved it.
It might have actually been one of the hurricanes that damaged her.
I think Adam Moss stepped in and helped out.
Cleaning Lucy's basement.
Yeah. You got to clean the windows, especially on the backside.
It might have been Sandy that damaged Lucy, and they had to close it for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Might have been.
Nothing can take her down.
So.
I think it's a fair thing to say that no elephant in the world has survived more hurricanes than Lucy.
Well, that's probably true. She's seen her fair share over the years.
Most elephants lived through 0 hurricanes.
That's true. Yep. And actually, if you wanted to buy tickets, you could go up inside, and it's basically like a house inside of this thing, isn't it? I don't know exactly what it's fitted out with, but
long enough ago that I couldn't tell you what it's like up there. What are they up to now? Oh, it is sort of tourist trappy now. It's 50.
yeah, it's very.
It used to be like $1.
It's very trappy.
It used to be $1, went up to $2. So at some point it's different.
Give you another still shot of a giant elephant butt, and then we'll get on our way. Alright. Well, it's a good thing Lucy didn't have to go to the bathroom just now. That would have gotten messy. Don't fall.
That would have been a shitty situation.
Yeah, we would have needed all the extra toilet paper.
I knew I should have gotten two 24-packs before.
Yeah.
Me, when Yep.
Hey, crank it up, man. Some good music. Okay.
Next up,
All
we're going
right.
to visit Reginald, the oversized parrot. Can't take tours inside, it's just a very large bird.
Well, I think we just made history because this must be the first meet that involves a giant elephant butt.
Yeah,
You know?
that is a fair assessment.
I'm very happy to introduce that feature into the canon of road beats.
I think that's the second largest ass I've ever seen at a road meet.
The second largest.
Yeah, the biggest ass I know of is one of the meet hosts, but we're not going there.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Not going there.
If you really want to make things messy, on our way. What are you eating?
Riddle?
Is that what you had at the diner?
That's what I have from Donna.
Oh.
Jewish, they gave me follow and Riddle.
Uh-huh.
Heaven.
Yeah, welcome to Longport.
Oh, where the signals function.
Boo.
Ah, as if on cue. Avenue. Ah, 29th. We don't have much longer. Slow down.
Did you already get a picture of the thank you?
I did not get a picture of it, thank you. I'm just taking photos of street signs.
Bridge sign. And there's another bridge sign.
Very useful. Longport is the best port.
Is that what it says?
Long Tower, yeah. Stick to all those other ports like Keyport.
Yeah.
Port Elizabeth, that's just the most economically beneficial port. It's not the best.
Yeah.
I think they also could have said this is the longest port.
Yeah, they could.
No one would deny them that. And now we're on the parkway.
Yeah.
No dogs.
No dogs allowed.
It's good. Do not ride your dog onto the Garden State Parkway. I think that's very good advice.
Yeah, probably. watch for turtles and turtle babies.
Watch for very detailed turtles.
Original New Jersey 152 is a number used elsewhere. I believe it was the southern continuation of what became 29 in Trenton. 29 used to end at the State House, and when the state built the first section of what became now 29, south of the State House, it ended into it just ended into a regular street at that point. And so what the state had built, they gave it a 100 number to signify it didn't really go anywhere. Okay. So after a few years of that being 152, they finally extended 29 further down along it. And I think at that point it ended down in Duck Island, where 129 now ends. They finished building whatever piece they were going to build, so that freed up the 152 number. And for those who don't know, New Jersey briefly was numbering their short highways from 151 up to 185. 187, which we saw today, was not part of that series, and they never designated a 186, which would have completed that little connection. But 152 is the only number they ever reused in that whole series. And they applied it here because you've got a bridge that's right next to 52, and they saw a convenient reuse of the number. So technically, this is out of series, and most of the other numbers were assigned in sequence, even if they didn't all open in sequence. So 185 being the stretch of highway that spurs off of 440 and goes to nowhere.
Yeah, we all know about 185.
Is the newest and last highway designated in that run. And more recently, they've done things like Business 33, and they've gone back to numbering highways that way instead of using the 100 series.
Hi, Doug. What's the zip code in the middle of nowhere, I wonder?
00000.
So, and also I would think the 152 number, as you said, lines up pretty well with 52, which is pretty similar to what they did with 47 and 147 further down the coast.
So that one was intentional.
Was
Anything outside the 151 to 185 range was all done with intent. So 147, 140, 138, 139 is a unique case, but 109. So the state has also done that sometimes.
So 152 was basically a coincidence that worked out.
No, because they had the first 152, I think this one was chosen with intent. It just happens to fit in the sequence.
Okay.
There are a lot of unique cases in New Jersey.
Okay, so here's the end of 152.
I thought you were going to continue 2 more blocks ahead to Shore Road.
Is that what I'm doing?
That's what you're doing.
Okay, whatever.
Because you're going to turn left and pass through Old Town Summers Point.
Well, I'm glad you're paying attention.
See? I've saved the meat.
Thanks for joining us, finally.
It's about time I contributed something useful instead of my usual blather.
I always get my main streets mixed up through here. Welcome to beautiful Somers Point.
Error syntax editor. Offending command. Reduce the number of fonts in the document.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Too many fonts.
Yeah, I'm recycling paper that went through the printer at my old job and came out all screwed up. So that's why on some pages there's little gibberish at the top of
I
it.
think this is the next sheet.
I think you're looking at the next sheet, yeah. I didn't print all the sheets because some of the sheets just have pictures on them.
Well,
So
now I don't get the pictures. It makes me sad and angry.
Well, you can always look it up afterwards if you'd like.
You always make me angry, man.
That's one of my specialties.
There's only a few people who always make me angry. You're one of them.
Stephen Albert, Sith Lords are my speciality. Now here's 52.
This makes me angry. I miss the old circle.
Was there a circle here?
Yep.
And they took that out when they replaced the bridge?
Yeah, pretty much. You could see that liquor store, Circle Liquor Store, that the edge of the circle went by what's now that little decorative entrance, came around through what's become more of the diner parking lot, around through the grass area on the right, and through this little parking lot on our left. All this was Circle.
So this is a pretty big circle then.
Yeah. The combined beginnings of 585 and 559.
Okay.
585, I believe, turned left here and followed 52 across, and then started semi-following Shore Drive on and off. Let's see. Yeah, I remember walking the old bridge as it was under construction. As the circle was under reconstruction. It's all sad. Most prominent being the visitor center. Ooh. Didn't know there was a visitor center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that had opened the last time I was here. So, interesting.
So this is the 52 Causeway over to Ocean City.
And they still have one of the old piers there left.
Yeah.
Nice. Not piers.
Yeah, the old markers.
Parapet. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody photos of those.
There's another set on the Ocean City side
Right.
that's still there.
It is the world's largest Ferris wheel located in this Ocean City. The other Ocean City may have a larger one, as may anywhere else.
I was gonna say, it's probably not that hard to build a bigger one.
Yeah, this is the world's largest one located in this Ocean City. New Jersey is the only state where if you say Ocean City, you have to specify New Jersey or Maryland. And anywhere from here on north, Ocean City means New Jersey. Anywhere out west or south, it's Maryland. If you go to Quebec, they come to this Ocean City.
That's right, they do.
Also home of Reginald the Ocean City Parrot.
What's the... I've never heard of that. What's the
I
deal
told
with
you,
that?
Reginald the Parrot.
Well, I've never heard of that.
He's just somebody's bird, but he's a pretty large parrot.
Okay.
I may or may not be making this up, but we'll see if he's on the... See if he's going to be an optional stop on this.
Well, I never heard of the parrot, so if that's the
neither.
case, then probably he's not going to be a stop.
That's too bad.
You know?
Yeah, I miss the parrot. What is here?
Question mark.
Question mark? Why take this exit? Question mark. Get a nice view of the crappy new bridges from here.
You can.
That's why we're stopping.
Fortunately, not the old ones. Are you going in the Welcome Center?
I wasn't going to.
I will take that hit. You may show our viewers these beautiful new ugly closets.
Alrighty, that's fair. Bye, Steve. So we've got Great Egg Harbor Bay straight ahead. That's the Parkway Bridge that you can see off in the distance. We'll be going over that in a little while. As we look back to the mainland, looking to the west, we'll take a walk down there in a second, but I want to go up this way first. This is the main visitor center building. I have no idea what's in there, but Steve will take a look inside and report back to us. All of this was constructed in conjunction with the new causeways, which were completed about a little less than 10 years ago. I guess that's the easternmost channel crossing. Hope nobody steals my car in the next few minutes. Well, we've got about 20 people watching us right now, so thank you all for joining us today. It's a beautiful day here in southern New Jersey. And if you'd like, drop us a line in the chat. Let us know where you're watching us from. I know we had one person check in from the census-designated place of middle of nowhere. I have no idea what state that is, but maybe that individual can provide a little bit of clarity. It's a nice day for a walk. Here's a better view looking to the west. You can see the new causeway and also the fishing piers that have been built for recreational use. It's a pretty impressive complex that they've built here. None of this was here before they replaced the bridge about a decade ago. We got Georgia, we got southern Westchester in New York, we've got southern New Hampshire. So we got people coming in today from all over the place. That's great. Hey, there's Steve. I'll give you another look at the Egg Harbor Bay here. Those are the twin bridges for the parkway. What's in there? Free maps?
Map.
Ooh.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Do it. The vaccines. This would be useful if I ever come to Cape May County.
I'm surprised you haven't. That's one county I have that you don't.
You couldn't see the entire county?
All the county routes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, I haven't even finished my own current county, so probably knock out 3 in one day if I felt like it.
Yeah.
See, you've got reusable bags. How's that working for you?
Oh boy. Do we want to get into that now?
We got something to talk about.
I thought we were going to save that for another gathering.
We could talk about that one too. I already brought it up at the previous gathering that you weren't at. So,
which one was this?
The Froggy.
Oh.
So our intended target is already aware.
Oh, really?
Yep. She seems to have coped with it.
Well, thank God. I thought the world was going to come to a freaking end.
She almost had to vote Republican.
Well, that ain't a done deal yet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've got a cool map I'm looking at. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'll have to look
Don't
at that
disturb me.
later. But yeah, right. Alright, we've lost Steve for the rest of the afternoon because he is lost in his Cape May County map.
Woo!
Isn't that usually a tradition on regular meets anyway? Like free maps and stuff like that?
Free maps. There are giveaways in the beginning. People will bring extras or they'll stop off at a welcome center and grab a bunch of state highway maps.
Okay.
I've certainly done that before. So yeah, if we're going to stop at this place, I'm going to look around until I find a map. It says we'll be back on the mainland in no time. I dispute that. I think it's going to take some time. One interesting thing that was at the Welcome Center was on the way in there was a map of 52 from end to end, and it did show 9 still. It showed 9 on the parkway, but it still showed the Business Point Bridge as existing.
Oh, okay.
So, and the bridge was still there at the time they would have made this Welcome Center. I think this predated the. So,
yeah.
Technically, that means that 9 should have been on that bridge, but obviously you couldn't follow it.
There's more of those markers up here.
Oh yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Ooh. They moved them together. Made a little park out of it.
Alright. Welcome to Ocean City.
Just took several photos very quickly. I appreciate that.
This light here is Bay Avenue, which is a part of Ocean Drive.
this map I don't think this map shows Ocean Drive as anything special. It just shows county roads.
It probably just lists the actual street name.
I find that interesting because Cape May County is the one who's big on Ocean Drive, and they don't have any special way of showing it on their own maps.
Is that a county issued map, or is that?
This is the Chamber of Commerce map. It is complete and it shows jurisdictions, so you know it's not like it's a throwaway map. I certainly intend to keep it, but I don't know if the county has a more official map than this.
Okay.
For a Chamber of Commerce, you'd think they'd want to promote Ocean Drive, and they label it as a street name, but they don't show it in any special color. In my opinion, they got that one wrong.
So is it labeled on there?
A couple places it says Ocean Drive, yeah.
Well, yeah, but in some of these towns, Ocean Drive is the actual name of the street.
Right. So like here, they just say Bay Street. So they're not really showing it as anything specific. They have it. So we covered this on a previous meet, didn't we?
If this looks familiar, that's because this was on the virtual tour of Ocean Drive. At least this little piece of it, anyway.
I want to say that I was along for another ride that featured this. I did follow your virtual tour.
Okay. Well, you would have seen this street.
Yep. I think this was closed when I was down here.
Yeah, they've been working on some sort of
Or maybe that was your
project where they've been working their way north. So, like further down, it was closed in like January or whatever.
See what I mean? That I wasn't even there, but just by watching your video, I now have memories of being there.
There you go.
So I totally clinched that road.
Well, if it's part of your canon, then so be it.
I think it has to be. As a kid, my family drove all the way up Ocean Drive, and that's when I stopped at Lucy, back when it was a reasonable cost to get in. Memories are faint, but I remember very well we went across all the little bridges with the tolls on top, all the way up to Atlantic City. So I do have Ocean Drive clinched, just not as a driver.
I see.
This would be the iffiest part of it, because I'm not sure if they followed this part religiously or they kept going straight.
Supposedly, this is it.
Yeah. This is the only county road in town.
Well, it's not the only county road in town, but there are Ocean Drive signs along here at the opposite ends of the street.
This suggests it's the only north-south county road in town, and all the other parallel roads are not.
That's not entirely true.
Their map suggests it.
Well, their map sucks, so I'm sorry you picked it
How
up.
dare you say that about their map?
Yeah, 619 comes up from the south, and I don't think...
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it shows 619, 623, and 656 only. There's no point on this map where you have two parallel county routes in Ocean City. Yes, that's what I was getting at.
I think 619 goes up to the street that 52 is.
This says 619 only goes up to where 623 is, and the rest of it's town maintained.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Don't know. We're not on it, so I was under a similar impression. But again, this looks like it's taking GIS data and mapping it. So if this is the county's GIS data, then the county doesn't consider 619 to go that way. I would trust the county over the state, whatever the straight line diagrams say.
When I was researching the official path of Ocean Drive, it does get a little ambiguous in a couple of spots. Because the description will tell you one thing, but then the straight line diagram tells you something else. And so you kind of have to use intuition a little bit, what would be logical for an area. So, I don't know, maybe I didn't follow the alignment.
its entire way. But
It's like when I was following old 66, and at some points it wasn't worth it to get off the interstate and just follow a frontage road for 4 miles, dead ends, and I have to turn around.
oh, okay, yeah.
So you do what's logical and piece it together into a continuous route.
Yeah, so here's the Ocean Drive shield. So the implication here is that this is the drive and it makes the left turn at the light.
Very much agree.
But we're not going to go that way. We're going to go this way.
Oh. More turtles.
Head back to the mainland. So this is the southern entrance to Ocean City. This and the 52 causeway are the two toll-free options to get you to Ocean City from the mainland.
Optional stops the first time, we have a chance to do it this time.
Oh, that was more of like a fishing pier access thing.
Oh no, that was for the still standing bridge pier remnants. As I said, I've walked that, so
yeah,
I have no need. I was just more seeing if our viewers wanted to stop.
Yeah, I mean there really isn't much to say. It's just a marker.
But it's a cool one.
Hey. Alright, so this is Parkway northbound.
And US 9.
It is US 9.
Possibly.
Yeah, what's the status with that? Is it still...
Do not know.
Well, they've signed it.
I'm waiting for the next straight line diagrams to come out and tell me, but last I know, 9 is still on the old road.
9 dead ends.
Don't know. Do not know anymore what the status is. In order for 9 to make it onto the Parkway, the state's going to have to do a takeover of Roosevelt Boulevard.
Yeah, that's true.
So I assume that would be part of a maintenance swap, and to some degree it looked like they were preparing for that. So everything north of there would be county, and then the state would take that piece of Roosevelt. Not entirely certain how that's going to work. In the worst case, if 9 does go this way, the state can't download the old piece. We may see some new state highway get created.
That would be cool.
It'd be cool if they mileposted with the shield that we've never seen before.
Of course.
Keep my fingers crossed for 186.
Yeah. There's the Great Egg Harbor Bay Bridge.
In fact, during construction, it accommodated all 4 lanes of the parkway while they rehabbed this bridge.
Yeah.
But for now, they're going to keep this, and they figure by the time this needs to be widened to 3 lanes, this redecking will be about due to be replaced anyway. They'll just rip out the whole bridge and do it then. Now, the northbound bridge is vastly huger than this, or the southbound bridge is vastly huger than the northbound bridge.
Yeah.
Also, is a gentler grade, less taller approaches. Very mismatched.
2 very different generations of construction.
Yeah. That's the first time I've been over that big bridge. And this one, they also, I forget which channel or thoroughfare that is, but they also, same thing there, they redecked it and kept it the original width.
Yeah.
The interesting thing here was back when there was only 2 lanes back there, even for, I'm not sure if by 1971, I think they were taking it out, but this used to be an at-grade intersection 9.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
So that bridge is somewhat newer than the parkway.
Interesting.
Yeah, check out historic aerials. You'll see it in the 50s into the early 60s. I think by the 70s, I think there's one there from before, like 70 or 71. And the next image, it's the current interchange.
So that intersection back there that used to exist, that was kind of like a mini K-Bay courthouse? That was like that grade?
I think it was possibly more. I don't think it was signalized. So there's that.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what I'm trying to compare it to, but I think 287, the original stretch from Route 10 to 46, had an at-grade crossing of Parsippany Road at exit 40.
Really?
I think. And that's also on historic aerials. I know there was an at-grade, but it's the same thing. It was unsignalized. It was a 4-lane highway with not a whole lot of traffic, so they were okay with that. Oh, can we go see Lucy the Margate Elephant?
You want to go see the elephant butt?
I want to go
again?
see the elephant butt.
All right.
That sign tells me there's an elephant butt ahead. So yeah, it didn't look like that was signalized, and then it would have dumped you right to the toll plaza. I'm not even sure if the toll was active at that point.
Okay, yeah.
Might have been. And of course, 9 continued across to the old Beazley's Point Bridge, so you had the 2-lane Parkway Bridge, a 2-lane Beazley's Point, and that was considered adequate for traffic at the time.
Yeah. Because the original Parkway Bridge was 2 lanes, and then they built the second 2-lane bridge.
As you noted.
Right. And now they tore down the original 2-lane bridge in favor of a wider 3-lane bridge.
Still striped for 2 lanes.
That's correct.
But they were looking at widening that far south to 3 lanes, and they have, for the time being, that's not on the radar. And I don't know if that was part of what they announced for the new toll hike, if they were looking at widening anything south of 35, milepost 35, basically.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
That's about where that tails off. And if you look at traffic there, traffic does drop off quite a bit as you get through 38, 37, 36. That is a jumping off point. There's some traffic that gets out at 30 and about an equivalent amount gets back on at 29. So you're starting to see at that point the locals and the beach hoppers more so than long distance traffic. So it could be like the Turnpike. They may have intent to widen the parkway to 3 lanes down as far as they can get it. I'm not sure what they're looking at right now. But I haven't heard of this causing any problems this far south.
Yeah, I haven't heard any chatter about south of 35. So
generally the traffic that I've seen down here is just everyone leaving the beach at the same time on Sunday. Once you're on the parkway, it tends to move.
Yeah. Because people tend to generally arrive at the shore at a staggered tend to leave the shore around the same time.
And it does bottleneck on Fridays up in Union County. Certainly there's a lot of bottlenecking.
Well, I mean, like down this way.
Yeah, down all the way through Tom's River, there are certain bottlenecks. Once you get through Tom's River, now that it's 3 lanes all the way down here, that's it. You're clear sailing at that point.
Right, that merge there used to be a big backup point. Yeah.
So down to 72, the LBI turnoff was the critical widening that they did that stretch first. But it was still warranted further south to at least, I think the next stretch was 63 to 48 they did, where 9 jumps off again. And then they extended that down to meet the brief section at 38, 37, 36.
Right, yeah.
We'll see. Part of the reason I wouldn't want to attend the toll meeting is because people would recognize me. But
really?
I would also be like, you're not raising tolls by enough. I want to pay more on your highways.
Oh, I'm sure you get a lot of people who would say that.
Yeah,
sure.
because those tolls help pay my job. So, yeah, it's better if I don't show up. So are we going to go to what we think is 619?
What I believe to be it, yeah.
See if it's signed.
I think it goes up West Avenue. But no, we're not going up West. We're
So
going up
Wellesley.
Wesley, yeah.
Well, I don't see any indication of this being a county route.
Yeah, because when it comes out of Sea Isle City and comes up this way, it's following this street.
Well,
I have to go back and look.
The map says it ends at 623, and this, between the signal overheads and looking at ground signage, I don't think this is 619.
Well, this could also be city maintained.
Yeah.
I think, wasn't this all part of the stimulus package that got the new bridge built?
I don't know.
I believe it was.
It's possible they improved this corridor with that, but
Yeah,
this sign meets state standards, and the first signal we went through did not. These are also 8-inch signals, so I doubt these were state erected. Black everything, no reflective border. So I'm assuming that was not state done. It may have been funded, but not actually done by them. These certainly have not been done.
Yeah, now we're in a different spec, right?
The older city signals. It's interesting. These all look like they're the right layout. The state lights.
Yeah, because 52 officially ends at that first light at Bay Avenue.
Yep.
But we have state-issued spec stuff going on further on from there, so...
I don't think that was all state spec either.
Yeah, but it
The
definitely...
signs were. The signals really weren't. That looked like local input into what they wanted.
Which leads me to
believe
that that was part of a federal funding package tied to the causeway.
And the state oversaw the whole thing, but they gave pieces to the town. We'll improve your approach for you. Tell us what you want to do here, and did the streetscaping thing.
Yeah.
I can see it. I will buy into your theory on that one. Vicinity Historic District. Yeah, a lot of these houses are the same age as in a lot of New Jersey, which makes it not very special.
Yeah, well, this area hasn't been as commercialized as others.
There's a lot of late 19th, early 20th homes here.
Yeah.
Which to me is, in New Jersey, this is pretty normal.
There used to be a lot more of this in Wildwood, but they've either taken them out for hotels or they've taken them out for condos recently. Because new condos are the new rage down there.
This part seems mostly residential, not seasonal.
Yeah. Yeah, North Wildwood is especially a lot more residential.
county returns.
Yep.
You can see
So
that
now we're back on the county road.
this part definitely county maintained.
Yeah. And we're coming up on another bridge.
Ooh, I bet this one has a southbound toll.
I bet you're right.
Oh,
See that? I'm getting us around all the tolls around here. This is the only one of the Ocean Drive bridges that has a dedicated toll plaza. I'm sure the original bridge was just like the others, where the toll
Right.
booth was right in the middle of the bridge. This is the Ocean City Longport Bridge.
we're going back to the best port.
We're heading in that direction.
All right. There's one thing I know about Longport, it's the best port. I now know.
That's the 152 bridge up ahead.
Ooh, look at this piece of old bridge to our left.
Yeah,
I wonder if we'll stop here.
I wonder.
This is way better than being quarantined with coronavirus.
Yeah.
We're hanging out with all these beautiful puppies.
Well, I bet if Ray was with us, he would just go running across the street and hang out with them.
Well, I didn't see any Goldens, I don't know.
I thought I saw one or two.
You might, if there are no Goldens, you just walk instead of run.
Yeah.
Please put your dog waste in trash cans. Please spread cat waste around.
Yeah. Great idea. All right, next stop.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's all right. I'll have to fix that.
Yikes, Dan.
So we're here at our next stop, which is the old Ocean City Longport Bridge. A piece of it is still left for fishing pier use. This bridge dates back to the 1920s, and it was replaced in 2002 with the bridge that we just came across. And this bridge is being patrolled by Steve. You know, like the old Brigantine Bridge that we saw a few minutes ago, a lot of the old deck is still in place here. They replaced the railings with something a little lighter, since this is now just open to pedestrian traffic. What are you looking at?
No reason to be angry.
Yeah. Alright, there's that view. Don't jump, pigeon. What are you seeing? You look like you're deep in thought over here. Yeah?
So I'm looking at the bridge. Well, I'm sure those are the original piers. And maybe the original beams. I'm not sure that the deck is original. And that's what I'm thinking about is this deck actually has been redone for the pier because the deck is not very thick. And I would not expect that thickness to support a large road.
You don't think so?
See evidence of it being reinforced, nor do I see it being very deteriorated. I don't know.
I don't think that the header beams look more or less the same. They look like they're in good shape.
And one thing is the attachments for what's now this wooden fence, which I'm sure is not original to the bridge.
No, it's not.
The way those attachments are rusted out here. They haven't in the rest of the bridge, so this may just be a saltwater issue. Yeah, I'm not convinced that this isn't actually relatively something like
Well, yeah, they definitely reimagined this when they shifted its use over to recreational to some degree. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't able to find anything one way or the other, so I just assumed that they took what was there and put new railings on it, and that was it. But
I would look back at some areas and just see if the deck at any point is either gone or suddenly looks really old. See what I can find out of it. That's going to be a guess. I just have that suspicion that that deck
well, and I would also expect those beams to not be that huge because you didn't have a lot of heavy traffic coming through here.
Yeah, so I would expect a thicker deck with different beams, and they may have ripped off the whole deck and replaced the whole thing.
Interesting.
Which is this? Ocean City Longport.
Yeah, so we just did that. Alright.
Okay. Hey, Longport Bridge Fishing Pier, Sport and Recreation. There we go. Place a demolished section of the old bridge on the Ocean City artificial reef located 5 miles offshore. The portion of the bridge consisting of concrete piers and steel roadway spans. So that was the old bridge was. In addition, a 500-foot section of the old bridge on the northern Longport side was left in place and will soon become a bay fishing pier. The old former bridge was dismantled. Mossville Bridge constructed a new span. Concrete steel. The old bridge in pieces on the ocean bottom. That's very interesting. This just says the 506 was left in place and will soon become a pier. It didn't say that they were going to redeck it at that point.
Yeah.
So that article that I just cited is from 2002.
Okay.
So that tells you exactly when you should be looking. It has an entry in Bridge Hunter for that matter. And
Yeah,
here,
there is a page for the...
Skanska has a feature on it. They're the ones who replaced this bridge. So maybe this will tell me something about the fishing pier. I'm diving deep for our viewers.
Alright, well, you dive as deep as you want.
I intend to. They're showing... Interesting. Interesting. Can't tell from that photo. That's definitely the bridge. Yeah, you know, that does look like they still have there. Right? Construction. Nothing much there. I'm starting to think that is the old deck.
Like I said, I wasn't able to find anything to say that it wasn't. So.
Right. And they did say construction of a fishing pier. It didn't say construction doesn't necessarily mean completely getting rid of what's there. Now that I know what I should be looking, let's see if I can go to extraordinary.
Wow. We've already reached our next stop.
Woof.
So we've already seen an old alignment of Ocean Drive. So now here's an old alignment of 152.
Oh dear, I don't think we can drive this all the line.
I don't think we can drive it, but I do think we can walk it.
I don't know, there might be an allowed cloud.
So, get your walking shoes on.
The live
folks.
chat that you're trying to retrieve cannot be found. I see live chat. Discuss.
Okay. So this is old 152. The bridge that we've gone over a couple of times opened in the late 1980s. And this alignment was more or less abandoned in place. It was open for recreational use up until probably about 2017. That's about the best info I could find. But the fishing pier up here no longer exists. The pier reutilized a section of the old causeway that existed prior to the late 80s. We're going to go for a little bit of a walk and see what's at the end of the road here. You still looking for that Ocean Drive nonsense?
Looking comparison of that. Overlay.
This old bridge railing right here. Wow, that pier looks like shit.
It's a good thing we're not driving on that bridge.
Yeah, it's a good thing we haven't crossed it twice already.
Third time's a charm. So, my answer is, I think it was redempted. Because the joint spacing of the new concrete on there does not match the old joint spacing at all. Careful research, I declare that inconclusive. For all that,
You know,
I think you're right. It's too hard to tell definitively.
you know what? You could have just saved yourself all that trouble and just taken my word for it. But why would you ever do that?
Only your viewers could see the angry face right now. No, I'm not going to do it for them.
Oh. We are now in our third hour of coverage of today's meet, and we thank you all very much for joining us and putting up with me and my colleague Steve today.
Mostly me.
Mostly Steve.
They don't have to put up with you so much.
No.
I don't think I come out this way. Unless, as you said, this was open to 2017, so I might have driven down this far.
Yeah. Because I looked at aerials when I was looking into this, and it showed this being open down this way. So they obviously put that up somewhat recently.
Because of hooligans.
Yeah, this was a weird place to have a fishing pier. Because it's not on one of the main roads between the towns. I don't know, it just seems like an odd place to have one.
Those seem like a great place for drug sales.
Well, yeah, I mean, who knows what the hell goes on around here. You have been warned. There goes Steve right after it. Yeah, so if we're looking to the south, that is the Ocean City Longport Bridge. That's where we just were a few minutes ago. Here's the main span of the Broad Thoroughfare Bridge on 152. And here's what's left of the old Broad Thoroughfare Bridge that stood until the late 1980s. So they left the piers, but it looks like they just took the deck off.
You can say that again.
So it looks like they just left the piers and took the deck off.
You have to say it again. Oh.
You know? Do I want to know what you're doing? Alright, I'm not going to ask. those things aren't nailed down.
Okay, and?
I mean, I wouldn't do it. Exploring roads in the wild. And here's your host, Steve Albert. What exactly are you looking for? Why would you want to do that? Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Steve again today. We're going to have to do the rest of this presentation without him.
Well, I can't get that photo with you standing. So.
What? What do you want me to do?
Like a tree and leaf.
What?
Or bark, I don't know.
What do you want? Like a picture looking at me?
Without me there.
If I go over here, does that better? Or if I just hide in this hole for a couple seconds?
Okay with that, yeah.
Alright, let me do that. Anything to make sure that Steve gets the picture that he's looking for. Alright, we're clear. Is this the same guy that was climbing up the embankment to Turnpike 576 at the Pittsburgh meet? Yes, it was.
That was an actual viewer question?
That was a viewer question.
Which viewer was that?
That was Matthew Wong who sent us that.
Nice.
Yeah.
If I'm a tetanus shot, that's good.
It was Steve who did it, and then I stupidly followed him. Yeah, well, that's enough of that. Huh?
Giving them a new angle on a bridge that people have seen.
Well, it's hard for me to climb down doing something that requires two hands when I gotta hold my phone in one hand. So
I think we should have asked the viewers for the vote on that.
I guess I could have had you climb down, have me throw the phone to you.
Hand the phone.
Or whatever.
It's only 6 or 7 feet down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what the old piers look like.
That's alright.
So,
You know, I'll tell you, those old piers look a lot better than these over here.
yeah, wooden piers can't rust.
That's true.
The good news is these should be gone pretty soon, so then you have to look at them.
Yeah.
So that's the point. You build a new alignment, and when this one breaks in 20 years, you could put another bridge on the old alignment.
That's right.
Rhode Island loves to do that.
Yeah.
So except in Rhode Island, they usually leave the old bridge in place for 70 years until they build a new one on top of it.
Did they ever take down that old 24 bridge?
Oh, yeah, I don't know if they did.
So I know they built the new one, and then the old one sat there for a long
This
time.
is what Rhode Island does. So one of my first explorations back in 2002 was on the old Newport Hell Bridge.
The old Jamestown Bridge?
Jamestown Bridge, right?
Yeah.
Jamestown Bridge.
I've seen your pictures of that,
And going
yeah.
around Rhode Island there,
So you actually were able to walk out on the old bridge?
all the way up to the top.
Wow. That's crazy.
And we went around, there are other places where you'd be on, let's say, Rhode Island 14, and it bends to the right, and there's the old bridge straight ahead,
Yeah.
sitting unused, and then you come back 5 years later, they finally took the old bridge out, they're putting a new bridge in where the old one was,
Okay.
shifting you back, so it tells you how long the old one was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are notorious for leaving old bridges in place indefinitely, which I appreciate. Jersey appears to like to tear them down and then just leave a small reminder.
Well, I think this was the last stop on the tour. So from here on, it's all driving. All right.
And that's something that's changed since I was last here.
Okay. Yeah, so we head back to Longport and then we exit back out.
On the Down Beach Express.
Yep. And that's basically it. That's going to be all she wrote.
Who?
She.
Which one?
Who? The World Health Organization. Who?
Oh, Dolores Cooper. Okay. That's all I'm asking. Alright. So that's what she wrote. I wonder if she died making this bridge. Anything interesting? What about the Sea Isle City? That is a place. That is indeed a place. Why would someone come up 152 and make a right here to get to Ocean City by toll?
I don't know. I know you wouldn't do that.
I don't see any reason why you would do that. Unless they're going to hang out with the dogs on the beach. That I'll accept. Ah, there's a puppy now. Hello, friend.
guess this would have been a part of an old alignment too, right?
Yeah, I think they built this just to the left to bypass where people live, but that would have been the alignment into the old bridge that should be there. There it is. Hard Mississippi's.
Alright, and we're back in Longport.
Ooh, can we go to Margate to see Lucy the elephant?
Ooh, there's another giant elephant butt sign. So when we came south through here, we followed Atlantic Avenue primarily. Now we're gonna stay a couple blocks north of there and follow Ventnor Avenue, which is a county route.
When do we get to Marvin Gardens? I need a Monopoly.
Still gotta find that piece somewhere.
We got Atlantic and Ventnor. There's ask, so are we done? I feel like if we were done, we would not still be broadcasting video, so calm yourself. Atlantic is better. I don't understand that because Atlantic and Ventnor have the same rents, so I don't think they would be equal. Also, Ventnor is 7 for free parking, so you're the most likely to get a good haul out of that. It's a prime place to put a hotel.
When was the last time you were up this way?
On Ventnor, never.
Really? That would explain why you're snapping away over there.
No, I like the Embossed Street sign, so I'll collect a bunch of them and slap them
Okay.
together. I like signs, elephants, and website updates.
And elephant butts.
All sides of the elephant are nice sides.
All sides matter.
Aw, if mini golf were open, we could take our viewers on an adventure.
Yeah, we could, right? Well, the Masters has been postponed, so we could do our own version of it at a mini golf.
Live stream a mini golf competition.
A tradition unlike any other.
That would
From
be.
Margate City, New Jersey.
It's the Elephant Butt Classic.
Hello, friends. Jim Nance here, along with Sir Nick Faldo.
Quiet, please. He's going to want to consider the uphill line to get to the top of the volcano.
The left to right pitch.
Gotta be careful, that lower hole won't take him anywhere good.
Those windmill blades will get you every time.
Timing is so critical to the game of elephant butt golf.
Yeah, right. We are not in Cape May County anymore, no.
Nope, that won't help us. I don't understand why the visitor center wouldn't have had maps for both counties.
You didn't see any for Atlantic?
Nope. It's all Ocean City related stuff. So I have no idea what we can do in Summers Point.
Yeah, either. Jerome Avenue. We're back in the Bronx all of a sudden.
Can you explain to me why the county routes along the shore go east-west when very clearly we're heading north?
That does say east, doesn't it?
Not the only one that did. 653, whatever it was, down in wherever we were.
Yeah, it is weird. That's east 629.
It's also east-west.
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
I mean, this is north.
And this is north.
But this
So
actually is north. So
I think once you get back to the mainland, it goes more north, right?
yeah. While no, I mean, if this is oriented correctly, then it's hard to claim that 656 is east-west. It sort of goes northeast, actually. 52 was signed north-south, and I get the feeling that that's what they're doing here, just for contrast. It feels strange to me that heading up the shore would be signed east-west.
Yeah, it is.
It just doesn't feel right. We'll get to meet good old Ola Hansen.
I think he's dead.
Does he make good lutefisk?
I don't know what that is.
And someone named Ola should be making good lutefisk. I expect it.
Alright, we got one more bridge for today.
Aww.
And I gotta get out my wallet for this one.
Ooh.
This is one of the few remaining examples of a bridge in the Northeast that does not accept Easy Pass.
I know another one. How many can you name?
We want to go through that list right now? Want to do this now? Let me do my Bernie Sanders impression.
Yeah,
Do this now?
I want to see.
Do this now?
Wow. That was highly toxicated.
Yeah, right.
I want to see if our viewers can chime in and see what they know.
I'm sure people can come up with some other ones.
I've got one in mind in particular, but yeah, we're limiting this to bridges, aren't we? Not just
Yeah, I'm
roads
just
in general.
right. I'm just talking about bridges. Yeah.
Because you've got Atlantic Beach Bridge, you've got Dingman's Ferry.
There's this, which makes 3. There's.
I don't see any others being named at the moment. So take the Robert Moses Causeway. Oh no, that's free now, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no tolls out there.
Alright, and I know they have Easy Pass on all the MTA bridges. There's one other one in Atlantic Beach. Yeah, Jones Beach Causeway, that's what I was thinking of.
Well, that's not a toll bridge. That's a fee for the park.
It's sort of a toll. Yeah, I think
Because you can stay on the parkways and you're okay. That's where you buy your parking passes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's not a toll bridge. Hey, have a good day. Thank you.
It's interesting. I don't ever remember crossing this bridge. I know I have. Do not anchor. Does that say do not anchor?
That is exactly what it says.
Because I anger easily.
Anger or anchor?
Do not anger.
No.
You're right. No, I'm not going to not anger. Imagine Beasley's point to not take Easy Pass until it
Right, until they got rid of it, yeah. There's a lot of unique signage along
because I guess they maintain it.
here. Yes, this whole length here is privately maintained by these guys.
crazy that they allow it to be a county road.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they allow that.
Whirlpool. Can we stop for the whirlpool?
Maybe, yeah.
Let's go in the whirlpool. The toll was when I came this way. They have a height restriction based on the toll plaza. Did they build this privately?
Yeah, it would have been built by some private entity that eventually changed
Was
hands.
this built by Ola Hansen himself?
Well, I think that's the original private owner/builder.
So we can call this Hansen's Bridge. If you get out, you could catch Hansen's disease. Best not to tempt fate.
Okay, so that was the end of the private maintenance.
This is one that I never knew about.
Wow.
And I've driven it, and I still didn't know about it.
And welcome back to civilization.
I enjoyed our trip through the middle of nowhere.
I did too.
Due south 9, use center lane. There's only one lane. Let's do P-way. Do not wish to go there. Considering that we don't have any need to go back to the diner, we could potentially extend this drive further north.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to go up Tilton Road just to complete the, what do you call it? Complete the scripted tour.
itinerary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're planning from
You see
there
that-
to
You see that sign over there, right?
Long Beach Express. Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
that's a good one.
I like that one. And the old green circle sign next to it there. It's a notable old sign, the Ventnor Margate Longport sign. So if you see it on your left right there's little circular green signs, the Ventnor Margate Longport. Those signs were put up, I want to say when this bridge was put in, but those may date to the 1950s, quite possibly. The causeway's been here since 1915. Nope, that's out. The causeway was built in 1929, so no, it doesn't date to 1929, but probably the 50s, based on the font of those signs as well as their condition right now. It couldn't be much past that. And you still find a few of them down here. That one I saw 4 years ago. they call 9 New Road, with Shore Road on 585 being the original road, and they had no originality when they built this. As I said before, I'm not sure why they didn't just put 9 straight down 585 to Summers Point instead of building a new alignment further out. It was back in the late 20s, they didn't really have a need to bypass every town.
Yeah, there wasn't much down here.
But they did. And chose. Stores are sold out of bottled water because, as we all know, if you become quarantined, you can't drink the tap water. It's not allowed.
Yeah, that's another weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, like it makes sense if you're worried about a hurricane knocking out the water supply, but if you're worried about being stuck at home briefly, I don't think that really enters into it. I don't know. If any of our viewers out there have a thought as to why bottled water is a necessity in these times, I would love to know. Unless you live in a place like Parsippany where the water forms stalactites.
Yeah, that's part of it, I think. Like some people who are on well water.
Get a Brita filter.
Well,
you could probably find a filter much more easily than bottled water right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have a 12-year-old viewer, so this is the time to remind our viewers that COPPA is in full effect, and we are not allowed to talk to your children, so please pull them off of YouTube.
Yeah, this video is not made for kids.
This is not a 13 and under video. I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. That's right, because you can't hear words like fuck if you're under 13.
Really?
Really.
What the fuck, man?
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, Andrew, you gotta get out too, but for 2 reasons. The other reason being you keep telling us facts that can be easily researched. Yeah, you can't even spell swear correctly. So we're gonna have to enforce that minimum age limit, I think. Send a message to YouTube about this. Ah, look, it's our wayward son, Dave. Hello.
Yeah, speaking
Dave.
of kids.
Yeah. Dave Golub, who lives in a place where the tap water is among the best in the world, warning us about how tap water is bad.
Oh no!
I'm pretty sure in northern and even southern New Jersey, it's not an issue. We generally have pretty good water supply, so hello, that's Southern Nation.
Yeah. Well, there's the diner on the right. We have officially completed our tour for the day. So, who's that?
We shall continue narration. Now we are unscripted. We can go any route you want. We're going to take viewer votes and discard them shortly. Now this signal is one I am currently redesigning.
Is it?
Yep. So this I am totally counting as a site visit. This is one where I can ask on Monday, hey, I happen to be right here by this project. Do I get credit for it? Alright, so they do actually put 563 up on the spine. Aww.
What's the matter?
Where are we going? What are we doing?
I want to get on the Parkway.
Don't you want to take this back to Route 9 and finish Country 9?
Not really.
You're missing this piece of 9.
Yeah, I know. But I'm also missing stuff down that way, too.
Yeah, but it's this piece of mind.
I gotta get gas.
How can I do that?
225 sounds reasonable.
Let's show our viewers what getting gas in New Jersey is like.
As if they didn't already know.
Some of them might not. Oh, now we have to stop talking. Alright, let's start talking about Sesame Street while we get gas. I think some of our viewers still watch Sesame Street for that matter, so very appropriate.
Yeah, oh, God.
Our fuel associates are not permitted to perform maintenance services on customer vehicles.
Hey.
So you can get gas, but I'm afraid you can't get your oil changed right now.
Well, that's too bad, because I already did it last weekend. Fill with regular. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for our meat tour today. So we want to thank everybody who came out and was watching throughout the day. We had a great turnout, and it was great to have Steve helping me out. So
I appreciate that.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun to do, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one at some point in the future.
Thanks to all of you who are of legal age to watch this broadcast.
Which is like, what, 3 of the 25 people?
Yeah, about right.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap this up, and thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on our next installment of the online Road Meet series.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Peace out.